How's it going, everyone? So this is just a quick overview of the Grand Prix 5000 tire in 28mm width. And the reason I got this tire is because I really like the white wall option, which is why I ordered this one. My previous tire is actually worse. Continental Grand Prix 5000 was 25mm length. I actually really loved that tire, but my wife's casual riding bike actually had a flat and her old tires were retired, so I took my tire, my Grand Prix 5000 25mm, I put it on her bike, and now I got a 28mm with a wide wall that I really like. So today I'm going out for a small ride, probably around 10 to 15 miles. Just gonna get a general feel of the tire on its first voyage. Never seen the road. Yesterday I put it on, and today we're gonna do a test ride. Now my previous, the Grand Prix 5000 25mm, I actually absolutely love the tire. Great rolling resistance. You can definitely feel it compared to a city urban commute bike that I also ride back when I was in New York working and commuting. In general, just no complaint about its performance. The only complaint I have with the Grand Prix 5000 in general is how hard it is to put on the rim. But I do have a few tricks later on at the end of the video. I'm gonna tell you guys what is my trick of putting this tire on the rim without puncturing your inner tube, because it's really easy. I actually sacrificed at least 3-4 sets of inner tubes before I figured out the best way to handle and install the Grand Prix 5000. Okay, so I'll see you guys in the next section of the video. So my absolute favorite thing to do for any kind of, I guess, road bike related review is actually come to my favorite spot, hang out with my little crow friends, and talk about the bike. And obviously today we're talking about the Continental Grand Prix 5000. So 28mm tire width, and just to let you guys see how the white wall looks. And by the way, it looks fantastic. Okay, always wanted a white wall version because the black just looks too black, and this accents really well with this older version of S-Works. I believe mine is 2008 version. Don't let the year fool you. It's still a extremely fun, powerful, lightweight bike. The total package without any accessories is a little more than 16 pounds. Obviously with the seat that I put on, it's more comfortable, but it's more weight. So this bike right now with accessories, without water, is probably around 18 to 19 pounds. Still extremely lightweight. Dura Ace brakes works, way better than cheap disc brakes. And the wider width compared to my 25, it's a significant increase in cornering confidence and also bump absorption. Okay, so during my, let's see how long. So I rode about 6 miles to the beach, and I'm immediately shocked at how well the 28 compared to 25mm absorbs the bumps. The usual bumps that I usually ride on the road, it feels like all those bumps has been absorbed quite nicely. I feel like it's a lot more smoother, kind of like riding on top of a pillow compared to like riding a race bike. If you know like my description, if you rode road bikes, you know my description. If you pump your tire to like over 100 psi, it's gonna feel really rigid. This one, maximum psi is 110. Recommended PSI is 95. That's where I kept it at. Again, just amazing at how well it absorbs all kinds of bumps. The bumps that I use to feel not so confident, I tried it today. It feels like nothing. It just feels like bumpy road, like nothing dangerous or anything. And when I try to turn on the corners, again, going back to cornering ability, it feels a lot more planted on the ground. So I would say it definitely, if your road bike, I mean most road bikes would probably be able to handle a 28mm width tube. This doesn't really increase the width significantly. Why? Because I'm using a traditional rim. It's slightly thinner, So that extra width actually is being wrapped around the thinner rim. Again, this is just the old bike limitation. So would I recommend 28mm over 25 or 23? If you have 25, you're gonna feel like this is a 50 to 75% increase in bump absorption, increase in cornering ability. If you have a 23mm, this will feel like a tire that's gonna give you a lot more confidence, a lot more power, a lot more turning capability. Just like overall, absolutely worth it to upgrade from 23 to 28. Okay, that's just for me. I don't do racing. I just ride leisurely on the weekends. And this definitely gives you a lot more fun compared to a 23. Just take my words for it. Like, yes, definitely worth it. And the cost is about the same. Okay, so like 23, I think it's around like 70 some dollars. The 28 is a couple more dollars more expensive for one tire. If you get a pair, probably like 10-20 more dollars. Is it worth the money of like around 70 to 80 dollars retail when it's on sale? Absolutely. This will probably be your best upgrade on your bike in terms of components. Like the next thing I would upgrade, if you have a bike that you're thinking about upgrading, I'll probably think the brakes, and of course the next thing will be the rims, and all those I think are a lot more important than the group set. They're gonna spend 3-4 more times the money to upgrade, and it's only gonna give you a marginal increase in performance and comfort, or like smoothness. Okay, those are performance upgrades, and in terms of group set, to me it's a smoothness upgrade. I talk about how hard it is to put this tire on the rim. Okay, obviously, like if you've changed tire before, Continental tires in general are quite hard to put on the rim wheel sets. So what I find useful is actually when you install the tire, you have to, because if you try to pry it from one side and don't do anything to the other side, the other side is just gonna go loose. Now as you pry it in, the other side goes loose. So my trick is actually, I'm gonna try to show you this. So when I put on the tire, I grab the other side and use a lot of force to just clamp it with my hand while prying on the opposite side. When you have this locked and you keep prying on the opposite side, it will actually go in. Like at the first, it's gonna feel like, oh, it's never gonna be able to go in, but you just do it little by little, and eventually, magically, the whole tire will be able to go inside the rim. Just make sure the trick is to clamp one side really tight and don't let this side get loose. I find using a fatty, like a chunky tire lever definitely helps when it comes to actually install this tire. Like this is my set when I try to install and remove tires on the road. Let's see if I can find it. No, not this one. All right, so this is my set. Okay, both of those works different purpose. This one is to install the tire. My favorite, this is the bone trigger. I don't know if they make it anymore, but this actually is very smooth and it gives you a lot of leverage when you try to pry the tire inside little by little. If you have a flat, you definitely need one of those thinner ones to pry the tire from the rim out. So like you do this, when you have a flat, you do this to put it outside. The small one definitely helps because the big one just is not able to dig inside to get the tire out. So that's my trick in removing the tire and putting on the tire. Again, a thicker one is better for putting on the tire, and the thinner one is better at prying the tire out when you have a flat. What else helps is actually have a pair of gloves, like a really thick pair of gloves. So when you try to give it force to clamp this tire, to put on the last bit, it definitely helps with a glove. It gives you a lot more leverage. Your hand is not going to get tired very quickly, and it's going to increase your chance of putting on the tire in just one go. Okay. With all those said, it's still a pretty difficult tire to put on compared to some other tires. So if you have trouble, try my methods. If you just absolutely hate putting tires onto the bike, try avoid this tire because it's not easy to put on any kind of rims. Okay. This is the non-tubeless version. This one can only be mounted on rims with a round bead on the edge. If you have one of those, I think they call it ridgeless version of the rims designed for tubeless tires, this one is not going to work. You have to buy the tubeless version for those rimless tubeless version of the wheel set. So keep that in mind. And again, this one is designed for vintage bikes, old school bikes, and in particular my bike. If you guys have any questions about this tire, feel free to ask me in the comment section down below. In conclusion, I highly recommend this tire to anybody that had an old bike, is looking to increase their riding performance. The wheel set definitely helps. Okay, and it's worth, definitely worth the $70 to $80 that you're going to invest. In terms of the puncture resistance, I would say actually very, very good. I only had one puncture throughout. Probably I've had the tire for over a year, and one puncture on one tire, and it's been pretty reliable. I have a lot of confidence riding on those tires, knowing that the chance of getting a puncture is actually fairly low, and as long as you know how to take the tire off and put the tire on with a little trick that I mentioned of locking one side while putting the other side of the tire into the bike, you're not going to have any trouble. Okay, so thanks again guys, hope to see you in the next video. Take care.